Have you ever watched a show where the first season was so fire, you binged it in one night just to get to season 2, and as soon as you get there, the show dies? The show pretty much falls off of a cliff like the plot said your time is up. Don't feel bad, I've been there too, and in today's video, we're going over anime that flopped super hard after the first season. First up on this list will be the PowerPoint Neverland. My bad guys, I meant The Promised Neverland, you guys knew what I meant. Honestly, need I say more on this? To be fair, I will say this show has had one of the most memorable crazy plot twists in anime history. Imagine it's your first time watching this, you see a bunch of parentless children leading what you believe to be a decent life. You almost believe this is a slice of life show. Then you get to that episode where Norman and Emma find out what truly happened to Connie. Now when I tell you, I got the most unsettling chills I've ever gotten when that thing or that monster was searching for Norman and Emma in that one scene. Yeah, it was creepy as fuck. After learning what the quote-unquote foster homes are, you finally realize everything that glitters isn't always gold. Now mind you, this season was done so well, I'd honestly title this myself as peak fiction. 10 out of 10. Nothing more, nothing less. I like to think my anime taste is usually based, so take my word as God's word, something like divine scriptures. After all that peak, after all that binging, you're itching and fiending for the next season, only to get there and be met with utter disappointment and piss poor execution. I won't get into details about what actually happened in season 2, I think you should experience that utter trash for yourself, then report back to this video to understand how actually right I was. Next up on this list of anime that flopped hard after the first season has to be Tokyo Ghoul. Having arguably one of the most iconic anime openings of all time and one of my personal all-time favorites, Ken Kaneki, the man, the myth, the legend. Our protagonist is your average shy college student who simply enjoys his hobby of reading. One day he meets a girl at a cafe. Cafe girl shows interest in the lonely otaku boy. Kaneki, being that boy, doesn't have this happen quite often, so he begins to slowly like her over their shared interest of books. Now let's be real for a second, you guys would like her even if she didn't like books. But anyways, she gets him to go somewhere secluded and she ends up being just a ghoul trying to eat him because he looks delicious. Similar to a gold digger who pretends to want you but sees dollar signs when she looks at you every time. For you sickos out there that are like, you let Mommy Rize eat you, you're weird, buddy. This is all important because this is essentially the first step towards his trauma and character evolution throughout the story. Now, season 1, in my opinion, is very good. They dive deep into philosophical concepts such as identity, morality, and what it truly means to be a human. I think I speak for everyone when I say season 1 did a good job portraying those aspects with things like Kaneki's cravings for humans and fighting to hold that back. All this while being on edge most of the season from being hunted by humans and ghouls, since he was neither full ghoul nor full human, just the one-eyed ghoul. All that beautiful tension, build up, and even torture that led to him finally breaking from all the PTSD, pain, and loss. You can only describe this in one way. Fictional peak. Pure cinema. All that greatness binged just to get to season 2, which is full of loopholes and plot inconsistencies, and if you weren't already confused, Tokyo Ray even left a worse impression. Skipping arcs and leaving anime watchers like me wondering where all that buildup went. Why is Kaneki all of a sudden a soft yes man nice guy? Like, why give my boy balls and then neuter him in the upcoming segments? Like, it doesn't make sense. I'm getting mad just thinking about it. I say all this to say this show had so much potential with season 1 just to become mid and flop into utter trash. Now, third on this list of anime that flopped super hard after the first season is The Rising of Shield Hero. Honestly, I didn't want to include this on the list because I really enjoyed this show the most out of all the shows on this list. Now imagine you're an otaku weeb lord just chilling in your room and randomly you're thrust into a medieval fantasy world. Yep, that's our boy, Naofumi Watani. Essentially, after being sent to this world where he thought he was about to go on his epic hero arc, every otaku's grand dream by the way, he was accused of sexual assault by a bitch. I mean Princess Milk Tea. This petty lie turns the whole kingdom into simps. He's essentially deemed a villain betrayed by the princess and becomes an outcast. What makes season 1 so great is that he is the underdog with no help. And if I'm being honest, this plot device explores themes like resilience, betrayal, and the cost of trust really well. So well that you kind of remember this season as one of the ones that left a very strong impact on you. Something like your first ever crush in real life turning you down. My bad for bringing up your PTSD from high school back. Thankfully though, Naofumi ends up redeeming himself while still being the hero while dealing with these glares, scrutiny of the people around him who wronged him, and eventually clears his name. Now, in my opinion, this was executed perfectly, with the tension delivering on the seriousness of the betrayal while showing life through a lens of the wronged. 10 out of 10 season with peak character development and world building. Now we get to season 2, and honestly, Just throw the whole script away, burn it in the incinerator because holy, the pacing rushed as fuck. The villain didn't feel as impactful or well written. The tension that season 1 gave us just went poof out of nowhere. This also was one of the biggest drops in quality we've ever seen, and I can speak for most when I say we're all disappointed. I know it picks back up in later seasons, but like, why do we have to fall in the first place? Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this list of anime that fell off super hard, in my opinion, by the way, biggest keyword. Honorable mentions will be 7 Deadly Sins. To be honest, we can blame Studio Dean for that one. The Devil Was a Part-Timer, Goblin Slayer, Death Note because, you know, the villains kind of got trash after the first one. And I honestly really hate to do this to this show, but One Punch Man is also in this honorable mentions because, you know, if you've seen that recent season, you know exactly why it fell off. Also, I do know that the manga is better, so don't go and be, oh, the manga's better. Like, I didn't ask. I know, I read and watch, okay? But yeah, you guys have a good day. Leave comments if you disagree, agree, and if you have a list that you want me to cover or a certain genre you want me to cover next. Peace out.